Everybody, welcome back to the PGA First Look video. First off, congratulations to Patrick Cantlay, won the BMW Championship for the second straight year, and he's got his sights set on that $18 million first prize for the Tour Championship. Now, he won the Tour Championship last year. He didn't win the starting strokes, and I'll get into that here in a second, but yeah, he won a lot of money last fall, looking to do the same thing this year. Now, let's get into the course. Eastlake Golf Club has been hosting this event since 1998. It's a par 70, measures 7,346 yards. So this is the longest par 70 on the PGA Tour rotation. And obviously we got to talk about the starting strokes. So I added them into the model this week. And essentially, Scheffler's going to start at 10 under par because he leads the way in terms of FedEx Cup points. Now, they used to do keep track of the leaderboard and of the FedEx Cup standings on separate leaderboards for this event. The year Tiger won, I think, was the last year that they did that because Rose ended up winning the FedEx Cup, but Tiger won the Tour Championship. They wanted to have the winner be the same. So that's how they decided to come up with this starting strokes. So Scheffler's going to start 2 strokes ahead of everyone else. Then you have Cantlay at -8, Zalatoris -7. Zalatoris obviously withdrew last week with hip pains. So we'll see how he ends up performing this week, if he's able to tee up or not. You have Xander Schauffele at -6, Burns at -5, and then we have 5 guys at each of the rest of the stroke positions. So you have 5 at -4, 5 at -3, 5 at -2, 5 at -1, and 5 at even par. If you're betting this week, you have 2 options. You can bet with the starting strokes or without the starting strokes. So last year's a great example. Patrick Cantlay won with the starting strokes, but Jon Rahm and Kevin Na won without the starting strokes. So they played the best over the course of 72 holes, but they were too far behind to catch Cantlay with the starting strokes. So 2 options to bet it. In terms of DFS, this is going to be an interesting week because you want to take those guys that finish up top. So that is why you see Scheffler so expensive. Because he's obviously got a clearer path to win than some of these other guys. For instance, Sam Burns 22 to 1, starting at -5. Scheffler's 3 to 1. So that kind of goes into it. I will note that there isn't a huge difference. So first to second on DraftKings, there's a 10-point difference. But after that, it really drops off quickly. It's probably like 1 birdie maybe between the difference between 20th and 5th place. So I don't want to take some shots on guys that are starting down here. Just remember, it's over the course of 4 rounds. If a guy makes up 4 strokes on the field, he's going to be needed in your DFS lineups, even if he starts at even par. So definitely a good week to get a little contrarian. Don't mind taking some guys down the leaderboard. And you never know. We could see, Jon Rahm go on a big run, something like that, and kind of, eat into the deficit that he has. Maybe I would cut it off at probably -4. I don't know if anybody at -3 can get it done. Well, I did just say Jon Rahm and JT's there. So I don't think I'd go below -3 if I was betting with the starting strokes. But still, that's a big gap to make up. And that is why the guys at the very top are so heavily favorited. Now, let's get into the rest of the course. So it's a difficult golf course if you are playing from the rough. These fairways here are narrow. They're pretty tough to hit on average, and you have to hit the fairway if you want to make birdies. The fairway has zoysia grass, so it gives some really good lies. Kind of props the ball up a little bit. Then the rough is going to be thick Bermuda. It's going to be tough to play out of, especially with how many trees there are on the property. So you definitely want to be playing from the fairway, but it is a long course, so I think total driving makes a lot of sense, or just strokes gained off the tee. Guys that gain strokes off the tee while hitting fairways, kind of what I'm looking at. So more of the Jon Rahm type than the Cam Young type. The last 5 winning scores here without the starting strokes: -14, -15, -13, -11, -12. So kind of in between the scoring of like a major and then, some of the birdie fests that we see most weeks on the PGA Tour. But again, Scheffler, if he shoots, -12, he's going to be -22 on the leaderboard. So just keep that in mind. The greens here, pretty difficult to hit on average, pretty average size. They do feature Bermuda grass. And the fact that they are tough to hit does place an emphasis on the short game. I do think, it's one of those courses where you like those guys that are solid all around. We've seen Xander just crush this place. He doesn't have a weakness in his game. Cantlay doesn't have a weakness in his game. Rory's won here before. So guys that are just good all around, I think, make a lot of sense this week. And for comps, I'm looking at, strokes gained in no-cut events, strokes gained on long par 70 courses, think that kind of plays into it. I'm not singling out any specific courses for comps this week, but I did include all the weights this week. I also included in this week's video my ratings just to kind of see how things shake out. Now, if you are an RG Premium member, you can go through and adjust the weights to your liking. So I only put a 6% weight on the starting strokes, but I mean, if you're trying to get the winner, you might want to bump this up a little bit. I'm kind of looking for more value, more safety, so I kind of want to bump that down a little bit and look for the guys that do have some upside from where they're starting. So a guy like Aaron Wise rates out really well for me. So again, I'm looking at total driving, looking at off the tee, pretty much the regular stats, other than instead of driving distance, I'm just looking at total driving and strokes gained off the tee. We have the course history in here. Again, it's been played here a bunch of years, so we have a lot of data to work with. The comp 1, comp 2, comp 3. I also included some Bermuda splits in here. So comp 3 is going to be Bermuda, guys that perform the best on Bermuda. You have JT, Connors, Fitz, Zalatoris, Rahm, guys that play well on those longer par 70s, JT, Rahm, Rory, Spieth, and Scott, and then guys that play the best on, let's see, what was comp 1? Strokes gained in no-cut events, so guys that just tend to crush the no-cut events. You have Rory, JT. Man, JT's popping up a lot. He also has 5 straight top 9 finishes. So certainly somebody to keep an eye on this week, even though he does start at -3. Rahm's kind of rating out really well in all the comps as well. Xander obviously just crushes this place. So a lot of good options to choose from. If you do decide to fade, a couple of the most expensive guys, you can definitely build, a star-studded lineup. If you start, Rahm and JT and Rory instead of Xander and Scheffler, something like that, then you can really get some interesting builds there. In terms of the point per dollar options right now, again, I will be adjusting the weights throughout the week, just depending on things I hear, things maybe I'd want to bump up birdies, maybe I want to bump up bogeys, whatever it may be. I will be changing the weights, but you can do the same too if you are an RG Premium member. So Wise, Rory, Fitz, Finau, and Connors kind of rate out as the best point per dollar options on DraftKings. On FanDuel, in the model, we have Rory, Wise, Fitz, Connors, and Xander. So Xander rating out is a much better value on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, and that kind of makes some sense because FanDuel didn't really bump their ceiling price up much. So 12.4 is the most, or 12.9 is the most expensive. But on DraftKings, you have Scheffler at 13.6. So kind of makes sense that some of the guys are rating out as better values on FanDuel than on DraftKings. Then on Yahoo, there's always a couple guys that are priced at the very minimum that really stand out. This week's going to be Corey Connors, Sung J M, obviously very cheap as well. And I also have player notes for all 30 golfers in the field. So I talk about form, I talk about splits, I talk about recent things I'm seeing in their stats, whatever it may be. So if you want to check this out, feel free to sign up for RG Premium. I know this is going to be the last tournament of the season, but the new season kicks off here pretty soon. We're going to have the President's Cup. That should be a lot of fun. And obviously roll it into NFL. So we'd love to have you as a premium member at RotoGrinders. You can sign up for the all-sport package. I think that would be the best decision in terms of your per dollar. Because you're going to get a lot of great football content here coming up. We got baseball playoffs about to gear up. We got the NBA season right around the corner, so it's a great time to join, and we'd love to have you. But best of luck, everybody. We won't be back here for a few weeks with the video, so good luck, and we'll catch you next time.